turned out so well. Alrighty Pokemon fans, today I'm going to show you how to 3D print and make your very own life-size Lampent Pokemon. I'm not sure if we're both going to fit in the screen here, but you are viewing this right, he is glowing. I'm going to show you how to do that too. Well, it's time to catch them all, so quit lacking and let's get cracking. Hey everyone, I'm Sam from Tentacle Prints, and this is my new best friend, Lampent. Now I'm going to show you in this video how to 3D print and make one of these of your own. I'm going to show you the filament I used, the printer that I used, the time it took to put all this together, how I glued and structured him all together, and how I made him glow from the inside and out. This was my first time using glow-in-the-dark filament, and I gotta say, it's pretty cool. But before we get to the fun part of this, I need to show you where this started. Now on the screen now, you can see the original designer that has made this Lampent model. Brilliant work. I want to give you a huge shout out because this thing is absolutely wicked and it looks exactly like it looks like from the show. Now I do know that his face is normally blue. I didn't have any of the blue coloured glow in the dark, so I went with green because I thought that's way better than the yellowy colour. And look, I'm pretty happy with him. When I loaded this print into the Bamboo Studio, I noticed the sizing was a little off. The way that this was originally intended to be printed was to be quite small. How small, you ask? Well, that was meant to be his head. So pretty small. So the very first thing I did was separate a whole bunch of pieces onto a whole bunch of different build plates and scale up, up, up. Then when I thought I couldn't make it any bigger, I went right to the brim of the build plate for the very first time. So much so that his two separate hat pieces that then joined together to become one had to be printed separately and went from end to end of the build plate. Now my build plate is 256 by 256, 58. 256 by 256. So it took up a fair amount of room, but I tell you what, it was actually really easy to get this to work. Because of the outstanding work that the original creator of this model did, separating everything and making it larger was absolutely easy. To be honest, if you threw this on an even bigger printer, you could make something absolutely enormous. Anyway, then I got to printing. So I started off with the headpiece, which was obviously the large green ball that you can see right in the middle of Lampent, which is where his eyes go and all that type of stuff. So when it printed out, actually printed out some tiny little holes, which you saw in that little ball that I was showing earlier, where these eyepieces actually press into. After that, I printed out the top part of the caps, the hat, which you can see. I'm not sure if you can see, there's a slight seam on those. Printed out the bottom pieces here and his arms that do fully move, because I'm pretty sure you can be like that sometimes or whatever, but I love it. It's awesome. I was a little bit nervous when it came time to put it together because I'm not much of an arts and crafts man, but with some super glue and some pretty decent instructions on how to build this thing, it went together nice and seamlessly. First thing I wanted to do was see if there was any way to make him be able to make himself glow in the dark. Now glow in the dark filament as a whole obviously needs light pumped into it, and then when the lights turn off, it glows. So what I had to do was find a way to get a light and jam it inside of his head. Well, the big head. Nothing was going to fit in there. So another handy dollar store purchase, and I ended up using the same light that I used in my Minecraft blocks, if you've seen that video. I was able to use double-sided Velcro tape, which is normally used for holding pictures on the walls, to actually press this into the inside of Lampent's head. I was able to kind of push it to the back section of it, so I can still use the remote and it will still light up the front and the face of him, because I don't really need the back of him glowing, only really the front bit that people are going to see, because chances are he's either going to be sitting on a shelf or potentially hanging from somewhere, and no one's really going to need to see what was going on behind there. After that, I still needed to make sure that I'd be able to get into the head and swap out batteries, because I don't want to have to destroy the head every single time I need to get a set of batteries for the light. So when I put the headpiece together, I was trying to find a way that I wouldn't have to glue it. Then I thought, hey, we all do DIY, and this channel is all about doing things cheap that look great. So more double-sided Velcro picture tape, please. So I ended up putting one piece kind of across the middle part, which held that nice and easy, and there's enough of a buffer gap that I could press that head hat down, and it clicked over the little lips and held it nice and snug inside. However, upon removing that to actually turn Lampent upside down to work on the bottom, I ended up breaking it because it didn't have enough strength. But that's okay, because I had another piece of Velcro tape up my sleeve. So after attaching that in kind of a cross position, that ended up working perfectly and holding it in place. I then turned his head upside down and grabbed the little spike piece, which is meant to be that bottom of a lamp pole, because obviously Lampent it's a lamp. He's meant to look like... Everyone knows that he's meant to look like a lamp, right? Like his whole progressive thing, he goes from, I think it's litwick is like a candle, then it goes to him, who's a lamp, and then the one from that's a chandelier. The following, he looks like lights. Okay, cool. You know what? If not, I'll tell you about that later. After flipping him upside down, I had to find a way to seal both of these little edges together to then hold the arms in place. Now, there were these little lug nut style things throughout the design. They weren't really big enough to hold anything, but I still used them when I glued it together because I thought it would help to hold the super glue in place. Look, you could scale them up and use it a bit like IKEA furniture and kind of press it in. Probably not a bad idea. I just didn't have time and I didn't really care enough. So after pressing those in and playing a little bit of a juggling game to get both arms in and hold it together, Lampent was coming to completion. Then flipped him back around the other way, attached the hat to the top of him one more time with that cross style of sticky, and that worked perfect. And he's done. Better yet, because this light has a remote, I never need to touch it to turn it on. I can purely just click on, off, and it'll do it accordingly. I didn't know it could do that. Now, what makes this really unique, because this part of him is glow in the dark, while I've got this on during the day and the light is protruding out the front of his face, come night, he is going to glow. Like, how unbelievably cool is this? It turned out so well. He looks like he's been pulled straight out of the Pokemon universe. Seriously, this thing looks awesome. So guys, that is how you can make, print, and put together your very own Lampent. Now, the filament I used for the black is just matte black. I don't use basic when it comes to PLA filament. I like the PLA matte for the black, whites, and the greys. It just gives a real stark color, and it really makes the rest of him stand out. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you like it? Do you want to see some more life-size Pokemon? As a matter of fact, if you could get me to 3D print any Pokemon life-size, what Pokemon would it be? I feel bad drinking in front of him. It's like I'm being watched. Yeah, I don't feel that bad. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. Hey, please don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, click that notification bell so you can see more really cool things like this. And hey, any other challenge you want me to do, I'm up for it. See ya!